Now, in Nigeria, the contributory pension scheme, that's the CPS as we like to call it, has a more male-dominated participation of 61% of RSA holders, and women have literally half of that margin of 38%. My chest. And when I saw this data, for me, I was like, no, because prior to coming to the pension industry, I thought I knew everything about there was to know about pensions, and it was shocking for me. And today we're just going to address certain questions around this data vis-a-vis our topic. And we're just going to give a few clarity to questions like, what is the retirement? Because people just feel, oh, it's the money I get in old age, and that's it. What is the retirement plan? Is retirement plan just for civil service? We know growing up, our parents then would tell you, oh, my gratuity, my pension. Most of us actually knew about pension in that way, where it's just classified for the civil servants, but we've gone beyond that. So why do women also need to plan their retirement way earlier? And obviously would, in the course of all of this, address the gap that we sort of have now come to know exists. So let me start with the minimum. Help us understand what retirement is.
Like you rightly said, retirement is basically planning for your future self. So think about it this way. If you enter the workforce when you are 18, you typically would work until you are, this is for corporate jobs to start with.
Yeah.
So you typically would work between the ages of 18 to 60. Within those years, you earn a certain amount from your employer. The Pension Reforms Act has mandated all employers to remit pensions for their staff on behalf of the staff and from the company as well. So typically you would remit 8% of your income, and the employer would remit about 10%, I think, of your income. So this money is contributed on a monthly basis, and this money is supposed to take care of you for the rest of your life between 60 and however long you choose to live.
Yeah.
So historically, like you rightly said, women are naturally at a disadvantaged position, because we find that you have to, along the line, you get married, sometimes you need to move to where your husband is, there's childbirth, sometimes you stop work because you need to raise children. And according to research, women typically live longer.
On the grand scheme of
I
didn't know that.
On the grand scheme of things, that's good. However, it means that the money you have saved in those years, you have to spend it for longer compared to men. Now, why men don't live as long as women, I can't really say, but that's not for today.
Okay. Thanks for the explanation, and just picking up on what you've really said. So how does the system work? Right? Because some of us, when I mean some of us, I'm adding myself to, the group. Some of us don't understand this employer contribution thing and what can be done in terms of the contributory pension scheme. How can we harness that as women to our favor? Because you just rightly said that we have a longer lifespan. So there's also the possibility that if you sit down to calculate your retirement, what you would get at the end might not sustain you
through your long life.
So what do we need to do? And this is what I like to say. I'm a baby girl. You are a baby, and I'm sure there are a lot of baby girls on this webinar where, we have a certain lifestyle that we are living at this moment. We're earning, we can afford those lifestyles. And some of us would like to sustain that lifestyle even when we are out of employment. When I'm a grandma, I want to be a baddie grandma where I'm able to say, give my grandchild, go on a holiday somewhere, or it's her birthday and I want to invest, show her the power of investment. I need to have enough money to not just fend for myself but also cater to my family, which we see women, we cater to everybody. So if that's what I want to what I want in my future, and I'm sitting down and I'm calculating my earning power and what my employer is contributing to it, I'm not sure that I can achieve that lifestyle. So based on the CPS model, what educate us, please?
So the CPS model, like I mentioned earlier, 8% from the employee, and 10% from the employer. Now, what this is that this is very foundational. It's almost like it's the barest minimum. Truth is, it's not what is going to sustain you for the rest of your life, and that's where
True.
the personal pension plan comes in.
Yeah.
So this primarily was to address the informal sector. So people who aren't in corporate jobs where you are mandated to make this compulsory.
That's the
pension.
personal pension plan.
Yes.
Okay.
So in this case, it would address. It was targeted for, let's say, the artisans, the women in the market, the content creators, the people who do not necessarily resume somewhere at 9 to 5 every day and have a structured means of income.
Yeah.
And another thing that it has done is that it has allowed even the people in corporates to be able to make additional contribution to what you typically make and what your employers would give you on a monthly basis. So think about it this way: 5,000 today, 10,000 tomorrow, 1 million next year.
Vex money.
Exactly. The same way you put in money for your data subscription every month is the same way you should be encouraged to put money into your personal pension plan. Let's say you made an investment last year, you invested in the equities market last year, you got dividends. Instead of using that dividends money to buy hair, put it in your personal
wisdom.
Your future self will thank
Because some
you
people
for
are already
it.
calculating their dividends.
Exactly. And imagine if you even put in money in the stock market from January till now, you would have realized some gains.
Yeah, true.
Instead of spending that money today, like, delay the gratification, keep putting in your personal pension plan, and it will grow. And the beauty about it is that it's done as free will. You can pay in money anytime. You can put in contributions at any time, any amount. It doesn't have to be, this is the minimum amount you can put in. You can put in, so as the money comes, you put it in 5K today, 10K today, 100K next tomorrow, depending on, and there's no amount that's too small. Think about it this way. Imagine if typically we would say that the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. Imagine money you have been saving 10 years ago and how much it would have grown by. Okay, yes, we understand inflation has played its game, exchange rate has done what it has done. But imagine if you didn't even save that money in the first place. It means that you have nothing to fall back on. So think about this at the age of 65. Is the money you have saved from your 20s that would literally save you at that point. Everyone should be encouraged, especially women should be encouraged to take advantage of the personal pension plan for their future self.
That's so good. Just listening to you. So for me, it's wisdom number one. Know that beyond what your employer contributes to your pension, you have the liberty of also having a personal pension plan where you can also look at it as an investment vehicle to save. And something you said struck me. You didn't really broaden on it, but it really stood out for me. And it's this: with your dividends, you can, I want to spend it. You go and you spend it, right? Your capital remains, right? But with pensions, it's the fact that you are safeguarding yourself from spending, because there are benefits that would happen where you would need to go into, but it's restricted and it's very structured, where that if you are not in that phase of your life where you've lost a job for a couple of months, you can't access that. There are structures in place to make sure that you're not just going there to pull out money. So when you talk about long term, I think this is the real definition of long term, because if you're saving consistently for that period of time and you're not touching it,
imagine
it's not like your savings or your mutual funds you can go and pull out emergency money from. That's so good. Do you want, so I think when we're using our terms, I'm not sure anybody understands what RSA is.
Oh, okay. So your RSA is your retirement savings account. Everyone who has an RSA account or who is paid employment is required to have an RSA account. And the beauty about it is you can only have one RSA account in your lifetime. So even if you change employers, it's still the same RSA account. So think about all your money in
one
place.
pot.
You're not looking in the north and the south for what you did when you were 20 years or where you got when you were 45 years old. It all comes into the same pot because everything is consolidated in such a way that it becomes one. And by the time you need that money in your old age, you're able to access it wholly.
Yeah, that's so good. So, I mean, let me put a question out. Say, for example, I'm a woman, life has happened, I'm married, I'm pregnant, I have a child, my company gives me, I mean, so let's even not talk about the informal sector, right, for a bit, where women have to go through these career breaks. Like you had mentioned earlier, your husband's job changes, you change location, and before you find another job, it takes a little bit of time. You decide to leave paid employment to serve as a caretaker to a family member or something, or you just decide, you know what, this 9 to 5 is not for me. Let me go the entrepreneurial way, right? I know there are people on this call with us who are in different brackets of this, and when there is a margin when there's a break in your career progression, there's also the conversation of gender pay, but let's not even go there.
That's it.
But let's not even go there, right? But let's put all of this together as a woman. Those gaps, those lapses. How can I make up for it?
I think to try and answer your question, I think what I would say is the power of education. I would always say ignorance is not an excuse. You ask questions. What will happen when you ask questions is that you have more clarity. Clarity leads to confidence.
True.
So, I mean, there's sometimes women have questions, not necessarily just women, but there are things like you hear questions like, oh, but my money is too small to invest.
Yeah.
I can tell you that even if you have 10 naira, there's something to invest in. So, but you wouldn't know if you do not ask these questions. So ask these questions, and guess what? Your pension is literally just foundational. There are so many pillars you need towards life and towards your financial confidence. Your pension is one pillar. There are other things you will need to do. You will need to do investments in whatever you think is best for you. Some might be real estate, some might be equity, some might be mutual funds or fixed income. You would also need to do insurance so that you protect against unforeseen circumstances. You would also need to, join investment clubs, listen to people, ask the right questions, and, they will lead you to the place that you want to get to. So ignorance really isn't an excuse. I understand that some people might just be in disadvantaged positions, but ask questions. It takes you a step further than you would have been without asking those questions.
Okay, so it's like you are with me in my mind's eye, because while you were talking about that, I think I'd had a conversation with someone earlier this week about the confidence that we women have when it comes to financial education and investment confidence. And just like you said, someone will feel like, oh, because I don't have the billions and the millions, I'm really not interested. So I would like us to come back to building long-term investment confidence as a woman. I personally didn't get to where I am investment knowledge wise. I had to read, I had to try to understand, and I think I'm not where I should be, obviously not anywhere close to you, but but I'm not where I used to be. And the truth is, it's built my confidence. When people are talking about pensions, now I can talk about it. I can talk about certain investment vehicles. So please, I want you to talk about women who feel less financially confident, who also, part of the confidence now, let's not forget, we're talking about how people view market fluctuations as well. So I would like you to touch on how market fluctuations shouldn't be a barrier. You talked about inflation and, I put some people first that invested somewhere. We are looking at it and we're like, who sent me message? But we know it's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
It's not a short-term goal. And that affects our confidence, because then when I call to you and I'm like, come and put your money in pension. No, I'm not. I'm doing cooperative. Ajo. and it's the confidence comes from a place of fear. So I would
Yeah.
like you to address that, because I know you interact with these things on a daily basis.
So I would say, I mean, I would still tie it back to educating yourself, but I would say know what your goal is. It's easier to work when you have the end in sight. So know what your goal is. If
I want to be a baddie grandma.
That's a goal. That's a goal. So if your goal is 10 million naira, and I mean, the beauty about humans is that by the time you meet your goals, you will move the goals again.
Yeah.
So if your goal is 10 million naira in 5 years' time, there are certain things that you should and should not invest in if you need that money in 5 years' time. If your goal is 2 million naira by next year, there are things that you should invest in and not invest in to get that money in 2 years' time and in 1 year's time. So educate yourself. There are different types of investment: short-term, long-term, medium-term. Some of them you would have to wait. Some of them is the patience game, but eventually it would pay you. Some of them, you just go in, come out 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, as the case may be, and go in, get your money, come out. But the truth is, with your pension, it is a long-term game.
Yeah.
Imagine if you start working at 18 or at 20 or 21.
And then you're climbing that corporate ladder. Like,
exactly. Along the line,
my
you will
God.
get raises. Along the line, you will get maybe bonuses.
Yeah.
You would get promotions. So things like that
And
will
change
happen.
jobs.
Exactly. And the money will continue to
grow.
compound. So it's not something that's that it's not a short-term play in terms of your pension. It's something that you are going to access in the long term. I would also say that hold your PFA close. Reach out to them, ask questions. Anywhere you seem to be confused, ask questions. They are investment professionals that would always have answers to your questions.
True.
Regulation-wise, we are required to send your statement every quarter. But Parthian Pensions will send it to you on a monthly basis. Ensure that you are following up. Check your statement at every given time.
Yeah.
Ensure that your employers are remitting your pension.
So you mean employers are remitting? I find 1 couple of my money.
Ensure that your employers are remitting your pension at when it's due. If you have any questions, always reach out to Parthian Pensions. We will be able to answer these questions for you.
Thank you for even bringing that up. I would just like to say that we have our experts in the house, in the room. So if you have questions, you need clarity, please drop your questions at the chat box, and our able people would pick it up to respond to you as we go on in the course of the talk. Okay, let's talk about practical actions that women can take, because some women is okay, so how do I even start? You had mentioned a few, but I want us to talk more to the informal guys, the guys who wake up every morning and they own their time. They don't resume to a structured building like you and I sort of. So people who run small businesses, SMEs, who have maybe a paid salaries of 5 people, or they actually own their business, they pay themselves. I would like us to just go in a bit more, because they are even more disadvantaged. At least the employed ones have 2 pots coming in from the contributory part and the employer's part. But this set of people are almost like, pension is not for me. No, darling, pension is for you. It is for, in fact, it is.
If you want to use the wrong pension, it is for everybody.
It is for you. And we have now, there's a structure in place to make sure that, what you need, you get in terms of clarity. We can also help you with calculating. Yes, we have a calculator. Just reach out to us on the chat box or send an email. Numbers, customer experience number, customer center number, call center numbers, emails will be posted on the chat group for you to have a clarity call with one of our consultants and advisors. Back to what I was saying, I would like us to sit with the informal guys and sort of let them see what is possible for them. And this is the PPP. Yeah. So can you, again, I know we had briefly talked about it, but a more deep dive into it, I guess.
So first off, I think you said sometimes it seems like the informal guys are at a disadvantage because
Yeah.
there's no clear structure to
Yeah.
it. But I would say discipline is what is needed in this case.
Hmm.
So, you'd see a lot of things online that will tell you as an entrepreneur, when you make every sales, pay yourself a salary.
Yeah.
It sounds like talk, but it's actually facts. It's something that you need to do. Now, in addition to that, when you pay yourself a salary, you need to also pay yourself a pension. Put that money in your personal pension and your
When you
personal pension.
sorry, Ronke. I think this should be the updated slang. When you pay yourself a salary, pay yourself a what? A pension.
Exactly. So you need to ensure that, okay, if you are paying yourself 20% of every sales, put down a certain percentage that you need to put into your personal pension. And like I said earlier, the beauty about it is you can do it at free will. So you don't necessarily have to put a stated amount every month. You can put it based on every sales you make or every gig you get if you're a content creator, or if you're a businesswoman, when you pay your workers at the end of the month, pay yourself your salary, pay yourself your
Those
pension.
ajo women, those people that are so
Honestly,
ajo. What? Let's speak to them.
So honestly,
Ajo is not the future.
Ajo, I don't even want to start because it's almost like you do ajo and you have to start praying for the person that you are keeping the money with. Because if the person has memory loss or the person, that's the end. So like I'll give you money, I'll now add you to my prayer list because nothing must happen to you. So but let's not even get into that.
Yeah, because I think some women are so conservative, and the conservativeness is just because they don't. It's out of fear.
And I feel
women,
like
we need to be
a lot of
bold.
more financial education out there because sometimes they don't even know.
Which is what we're doing at Party and Pensions.
Exactly. And then sometimes they're also stuck in their ways. You find that within the older generation, you speak to them, but it's what they know that they want to stick with. They just don't want to know what you people are doing on your phone. But I mean, life has moved past all of that, and I feel like people need to embrace technology and embrace education as well. I mean, that's why you have younger ones around you, children around you that will guide you. There's a reason why we are born in the generation that we're born in because what another is sitting down, all of that, but we're also wise in our own ways too. So I feel like take advantage of the knowledge around you and just find a way to move forward.
Yeah, I just wanted to chip in that I think that there is something for even people who work in Nigeria but earn in FX.
Oh yes, there's the dollar version of the personal
where if you can pay yourself. I mean, because me and me, what do they call us? People that came back. And honestly, one of the is a personal experience throughout my work where I was. I wish there was something like that where I can actually remit money back home for my pensions, because yes, the government there is holding my money, but I don't have clear visibility of it. So when I heard of that, I thought that was a brilliant idea.
I think it's a brilliant idea. And I think
so to our diasporans in the house, or the ones that are planning to jackpot, or the ones that want to come back, IJB, jackpada, however it is, there is something for everyone, which I think is beautiful.
I think it's a step in the right direction because, 10 years ago, we didn't have this, but now it's possible. It just shows you that, in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, only God knows what more we could be able to do in the pensions industry.
Thank you, Runke. Thank you. Do we have questions in the chat box at the moment? Do we have anyone who has a question? Please drop in the chat box. So one of the things that we at Party and Pensions are doing is to bridge the educational gap. There is an educational gap. And thank you to everyone who's joined so far, and I hope you found it very insightful. I hope you found it very insightful. And we have our consultants at the chat box. Please send a message, and we would get you on a clarity call. I know already I know some of you already have asked for clarity calls, and we'll be reaching out to you subsequently for that. So there's a question around okay, I am building my confidence in investment building my investment confidence, and the pension concept is quite very interesting to me. I'm a very conservative investor. However, what do I do if I plan to invest long term? I'm scared about the market fluctuations. I know it's a long term perspective, but how do I overcome this? And what do I do if I sense that the market is going down? I can't pull out my money.
Um, Again, I'm going to reiterate, your pension is a long-term investment. So you do not need to worry about market fluctuations because you're playing a long-term game. Eventually, it will pan out. Typically, for long-term investment, you will be doing things like bonds, sometimes sovereign bonds. I mean, most of the time, not corporate bonds, but the idea is that at the maturity period of these investments,
Yeah.
you are getting the money that you invested in and more because you would have been earning interest over the years. So I
Right.
don't think that market volatility is what anyone should be worrying about if you're in the long-term investment game.
Thank you. Someone says, can I increase what goes into my pension?
Yes, you
I think
can.
that's what we've been saying
Yes,
since,
you
isn't
can.
it?
Personal pension plan. That's what it is. Your voluntary contribution.
Yeah.
That's how you can increase what goes into your pension because again, your what your employers pay as pension and what you pay as pension is foundational. If you need to do more, you can do more at your free will.
I think that it should be a walk backwards. And you mentioned it really. So with investment, we tell people have the end goal in mind, which was why I used the example of me. My end goal is to be here. So I've sat with my consultant, my pension consultant advisor to say, this is the lifestyle that I want to have. Oh, yes, inflation, taking account into all these other economic factors, right? How much do you think I would need? And then we begin to work that backwards. Okay, what's your earning power? What is your employer giving towards this? What is your own CPS, your contribution towards this? Okay, auntie, this thing is not going to align. It's not aligning. So what do I
need to do
do?
more.
Right? Which is where I now bring in, okay, you know what? If anybody gives me extra money, instead of, I'm just going to put it in there, because I know that if I even put it in mutual funds, I can go and say I want to collect my money back. But
And
with pensions, it's locked. Yes, there are benefits because there's a 25% you get to access when you're ready to be a landlady. My women, this is the year of this is the year of mortgage. Oh, we are mortgaging, we are buying houses. And there are other if you've been out of job for a couple of time and you've not been able to find your feet, it allows you to take, but those are like harsh life conditions.
Yeah.
Not that, I feel like I want to go to Dubai now,
Maldives.
even with the war, and just go and say, is it not my money? Liquidate. Is it not my money? Do that. Okay, there's the said, are there provisions that allow contributors to access part of their pensions for? Oh yes, we just said, okay. No, I'll take that question again. I'm sorry. And that question is from Daniel. Oh, Daniel's got a lot of questions for us. Let's go down. Let's see. Okay. We need to go further. Oh, that's a long one. Okay, so Victoria says, let's take that, sorry. What additional benefits and returns can I expect from Parthian Pensions as a woman with existing investments in mutual funds? And how do their pension plans complement my current investment portfolio? Is there a specific interest rate? And is this specified when using Parthian Pensions? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
I think every day, on a daily basis, we publish what our funds are doing, and definitely on a monthly basis as well. So it's something that you can monitor yourself. So on every day, this is what depending on what fund you are in, you know that this is what the interest rates is for me.
Mm.
You also can, like Adeze said, you also can access your pension for mortgage. And if you're ever out of a job or at any time, I think for a period of about 4 months, you also have access to about 25%
I
of
was
your
out of
pension.
job for a period of time. You see, this is why I say education is actually power. Honestly, and I think for me, it's the fact that we can relate with these things. It's not like things that we've not. I've been out of a job. It shocked me, oh. But nobody told me that whether I needed
That's
it
why
or
you should
not.
ask questions.
Nobody told me that I could access it until it was already. I already got a job and it was not necessary. So education,
Yes,
information is
very,
actually
very
very,
important.
very important. Okay, we have another question that says, can pension assets be used as collateral for financing opportunities such as mortgages or business loans before retirement? I think we already talked about
Yeah,
that.
we talked about that already. Yes.
Yeah, we did. The benefits are around mortgage, yes. Business loans, no.
Yeah, definitely.
Mortgage, when you are out of job for a couple of months. Yeah. I trust that we have our guys on the chat group. I hope they are picking up these questions and answering our both customers and proposed customers, because they're coming to Pathian. Okay. Can you speak on how to use your pension funds to acquire mortgage? I need more clarity in that area. We have our guys in the chat group that would respond to that question. The answer is yes. You can take a certain percentage of your pensions to acquire mortgage. The further modalities of it, we would communicate to you. Please, yes. Yep. Okay. Yes. Adewale, yes. Yes. Adewale, we have benefits consultants in the chat group as well. I'm sure he will pick your question, and because there are peculiarities as well. So the blanket answer is yes, but there are also peculiarities, and those peculiarities, would require some form of clarity call between yourself and advisor. Okay, we've got a couple more questions. How can a younger contributor maximize the long-term benefits of pensions instead of seeing it as something only useful at age 60? That's actually powerful question.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the answer is also around.
I think
what we've been saying.
Yes, and I think the earlier you start, the better.
Exactly.
Honestly, for people
because
like
think
me.
about it. If you want to buy a house, this is a benefit for you.
Yeah.
You can access your pension for mortgage to be able to purchase this house. So this is something that you can do even though you're a younger investor. You do not
Wow.
necessarily have to wait till you are 60 before you start looking for houses that your pension might or might not be able to buy as at
so
that time.
Good. So good. So all the people that want to all of us, because I'm in that WhatsApp group, who want to own house by next year. It's possible. And that's the power of your own contribution, in addition to what is already in place. It just makes it a whole lot faster. You can access it. And I say that, catch them young.
Exactly.
Catch them young. This empowerment, women, the earlier we start, the better. Creating that structure. Imagine I started a graduate trainee. My career as a graduate trainee when I just got fresh out of university. Someone will calculate my age now. But let's just say, with Gen Zs these days, you'll be shocked to find a 20-year-old already working.
Yeah.
So imagine 20 to 50. Jesus.
That's 30 years.
That's 30 whooping years of free money. And in that 30 years old, a lot of things would have happened. Like you mentioned,
gotten a promotion,
you would have changed jobs.
You change jobs.
You will not become a manager. You will not become global head like our panelist here. Maybe you will not be earning in dollars. Oh gosh, knowledge is truly power. Okay, we've got we've got questions. Someone says, apart from retirement income, what other financial opportunities can pension savings unlock during the contributors? I think that question is quite very.
We've answered that question
I think
in
we've answered that
different
question.
ways
But
and
if you
forms.
think that you need further clarity, please indicate in the comment section. And like I said, our team of advisors will pick it up and give you, like I said, some of your questions. The blanket is yes. However, we need to sit down with you. We need to understand your goals. We need to understand what the specifics are, and then we can guide you in that light. We also need to understand your risk appetite. Talking about risk appetite, okay? Do you know that some people don't? And honestly, I'm not judging anybody, because me, even before I joined Pathian, I didn't know these things.
Truth is, if you don't ask, you wouldn't know.
But how will I even ask when I don't even know what to ask? So let's talk about the funds, Fund 1 to Fund 5. People don't know that they can switch funds.
Oh
buckets.
yeah, I'm actually aware that a lot of people don't know.
I was in that group. I've been delivered.
So, so let me try and explain what the different funds do. I think maybe I'll concentrate on funds 1 to 3 for now.
Yeah.
So typically when you have an RSA account, if you fall within a certain age group, you are naturally placed in Fund 2. Now, what this fund does is that it grows your income. However, it's sort of like a moderate growth, because it doesn't invest in growth aggressive instruments. Now, note that growth aggressive instruments would naturally have higher risks, because higher risk, higher rewards.
Yeah.
So if you need to think about it this way, if you are within, let's say, the ages of 18 and 40, your goal is to be able to
Stabilize,
grow your capital
and
and grow it aggressively, because the aim is that it's going to
right.
serve you at your retirement
Yeah.
age. However, when you start approaching a certain age, the goal at that point would be to preserve the growth that you have attained within
That's
those
what they call
early years.
investment appetite.
Exactly.
I'm
So
learning.
to preserve the growth that you have acquired in those early years.
Yeah.
So if naturally, like I said, you will be placed in fund 2, because it's sort of like a moderate growth. However, it will be
Yeah.
advised that if you want a more aggressive growth, all you need to do is send an email, send a request to Pathian Pensions,
Right.
request that you want to be moved to Fund 1, which is a more aggressive growth fund.
Yeah.
And then you are placed in that fund, and you would see higher returns on your pensions in that fund.
I want to say something, and I stand to be corrected. I think that if anyone on the call decides to open a PPP account today, we would match it. See, there's something always lurking. I think that if anyone decides to open a pension account with Pathian today, we might just match it. It's just a way to encourage women.
Yeah.
In that regard. If you heard it, that's good for you. If you didn't hear it, sorry.
And tell them the timeline. Tell them the timeline.
I said today now.
Okay.
Today. Today is 13th, isn't it?
Yes.
Today. PPP plan, oh, that's the other one, the personal pension plan today. Yeah, we would give you a token to encourage you. Okay, someone says, I think it's really not that people don't want to embrace pension, especially those in the informal sector. The awareness is very low.
I agree. And I also feel like, there's a lot more that can be done in terms of making people aware that this plan exists. And it's something that we are working on at Pathian Pension. So I expect that, in the near future, we would storm these places, this informal sector, and just sort of educate people, encourage people to take advantage of it. Because that's why webinars like this are very important. A lot of people don't know about it, but sometimes there's also seeking information. There's also knowledge coming to you. So there are some people that will naturally not seek this knowledge, and this is where we come in. So we would bring it to your face.
I mean, even if you don't worry, we'll help you. If you feel like, I can't be bothered with these things, I just want some, don't worry. We give those such services. We will help you. We will help you. Yeah, we will help you. So this person was really asking what we are doing. So we have a lot in the pipeline. We have a lot in the pipeline that we are already working on, and this webinar is one of it. And there'll be many more to come beyond just even sitting behind cameras and having conversations. There'll be engagements around this, because we are very customer centric at Pantheon Pensions. We put the customer in front of everything that we do. So we will come to you while you also come to us. So there'll be a handshake somewhere, and look out for us on our social media pages. There'll be a lot of information and education that'll be going out. And like I said, you don't sit around and wait. Book that clarity call today. Book it now. Now. Our emails are already on the chat box. You can send an email and we'll respond to you. So someone says, whoa, we've got people are really hungry for knowledge. Please, what's the access age for pension?
The access age is 18.
Please. What do we? There's no excuse. There is no excuse. Once you're earning money, and once you're earning money, that's it. Someone said, can pension access be used as collateral for financing opportunities? Oh, I think we've taken that
depends on what
question.
you're financing. Yes, it can be used to finance your mortgage.
Sorry, 1 minute. There's just a lot of questions I'm trying to get through. Okay. Sorry, 1 minute. It's a lot of questions. I'm trying to get through them. Okay, I see our team is doing justice in the chat group. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Someone says, sorry, 1 minute. Is the PPP exclusive to women only? No, it's not.
It's for everyone.
It's for everyone. It's just that today we are focused on the women.
Yes, because it's women's
because month. It's our month. Yeah, no, PPP is for everyone. It's not just for the women. What are the T&Cs surrounding the match option if I open PP today? Indicate interest first. We'll make it easy for you. Indicate interest first. I'm interested in opening a PPP account now, and then we'll reach out to you and have a conversation. Don't worry about that. Should be the least of your worry. Just have your money ready to open, and we would take it from there. Okay, so let's just really go back a bit into what we've heard and what we've learned so far. I mean, we've touched on a lot of things. I'm just going to list out from what you said 5 practical steps that needs to be taken, and then if you feel like you need to go deeper or highlight on any 5, please do. Also, and if you feel like there's a need for us to clarify, please also indicate in the chat box. So you said it's about taking action now. You've gotten knowledge. What do you do with it? So in taking action now, review for those. Okay, so this is for those who already have RSAs. Review your balance. Yeah. And the reason is simply because something might be missing there that you don't know. And it's important that it's important that you are looking at where your money is and where your money is going. And you did mention that for us at Pathian, we send our statements every month because we want our customers to be confident about what their money is doing, where it's going, as opposed to the quarterly one. So we are two steps ahead, because quarterly is 3, so we are 2 steps ahead. You've asked that we always check our contribution rate, review it. The fact that you started on a 5% contribution rate, a lot of things have changed in your life, your lifestyle, so have the habit of reviewing your contribution rate. Up it when it's necessary to up it. Consider voluntary contributions. We already talked about that, the PPP. Beyond that, update your beneficiaries. You know what, Ronke? Beyond just pensions being a savings, long-term saving plan for retirement, I found that it's also an inheritance. It's a way of inheriting, of leaving money. Yeah, because
for your next of kin.
Yes. It's also a way of safeguarding the future of the people you love.
Yes, I totally
I met a lady who was telling me how her mom passed. Her mom obviously was doing the needful. And her mom passed, and she had to go in to claim because her mom had put her as next of kin. And she's like, Ada. She was emotional. Like, she didn't even know her mom had that much money that she got. And I'm like, yeah, that's wisdom. Like, I can actually put my next of kin there, and we all pray for long life, but you just don't know. So it's almost like a life insurance something.
Yeah, I mean, you could call it that, because everyone prays for long life.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets long life. In unfortunate circumstance where that happens, what happens to the people you've left behind?
Yeah.
Some people leave underage kids. Some people leave children who still have education or who are in the middle of their education. So this is something that, can be left behind for the people you love, and just to see them through to a certain extent, give them a semi-soft landing, if you can call it that.
Yeah, that's so powerful. So powerful. So you guys, you see, another wisdom unlocked. Another wisdom unlocked. Update your beneficiaries. Look at who is your money going to go to at the point when life happens.
And we would also need to emphasize that, aside, just updating your beneficiary, you also need to have a will, because these things sort of tie together.
See,
it's not just
at Pathians, we have sense. No, I say we have sense, because all these things are in one group. You can ask, am I right? Right. Am I?
Yeah, to a large extent.
To a large extent, yes, right? You can access all of these services. You're not running helter skelter. No, everything is booked for you in one space. And then the 5th one is set a yearly pension review reminders. I think this is something that I know our guys are happy to do. At any point in time, you call and say, I want to book in for a review. We are more than happy to grant you that. Okay. So I think we've learned a lot today. It's been an interesting conversation, sharing knowledge, leaning into wisdom that Ronke has shared. And I really do hope that beyond just listening, that we women will take actions in this regard. Any final words, Ronke? Anything you want to say to the women?
So final words would be that retirement isn't something that should be feared, especially retirement clarity. It's something that you need to embrace, because whether we like it or not, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So what more can you be than be better prepared for when this thing comes? Because whether we like it or not, days will pass, years will pass, your age will continue to grow, and you will still get to that point. So it's, instead of fearing it, how about you prepare for it? So put the right steps in place. I would also encourage you again, make use of your personal pension plan. Make sure you are contributing consistently. It doesn't matter what amount you're contributing, just be consistent about it. And always ensure that, everything Adeze has said, the 5 points she says, always ensure that, you're monitoring your contributions. Ensure that your employers are contributing when they are supposed to. Just, keep an eye on things. Don't just leave it till when you're 60 or when you're approaching the age of retirement, and then you start running helter-skelter. So constantly prepare yourself, because this time would come whether you like it or not.
Yeah, thank you. And I think what I would say is, in this era where we are advocating for women and we're advocating for ourselves, where they say it's good to have your own, this is a vehicle. This is another way of you having your own. Look at it as, when I'm old, do I want to be a burden on my family members? Because we know that there are things that comes with old age, that life, your health, things just happen, and you really want to be in a place where you are financially confident. That, we pray that God gives us long life amongst other things, but life would also happen. So sit down and have a self-reflection with yourself. Where am I? Where do I want to be? And no picture you paint is too small. It's just about how you start. Just start. And if you don't even know how to start, please call us. That's why we are here. It's our job. We'll help you start. We'll help you project. We'll look at what it is, and then we'll work it backwards and empower you the best way that we can. Thank you so much. Please, guys, a round of applause for our delectable panelist. Yeah, such a brilliant woman. Thank you so much for coming, Ronke. I know you could have been 1,001 place at this point in time, probably also looking at those numbers. But I hope that it's been worth your while. It's about the women that we're also trying to empower, the knowledge we're passing, which is also part of our core at Parthian. So thank you, everyone. I hope it's been an insightful session for us all. There will be a bit more of this, right? But join the train on our social media platforms. Engage us on our website. We have an app, actually. Please, can we have the app link posted on the chat box as well? We have an app as well for our clients. Everyone's going digital now. It's part of it. Start learning the little steps of digitalization. And thank you, everyone. Thank you to Parthian Partners. Thank you to Parthian Pensions. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's been your pleasant Adeze. Cheers.